Hello, hello. Are you struggling in a relationship? This could be a friendship, it could be your partner, it could be someone you're collaborating with, or even your cat. I have struggles with my cats sometimes. If so, you're in the right place. This is a one-card oracle pull for relationships in November. My name is Aya Iwo and you can find me at moongardentemple.com. The card I pulled today is from the Untamed, I'm gonna get the name wrong again. The Untamed Elemental. I always mix up the names of the card decks that I'm using, and I'm sorry for that. I will tag it below so you can find it. So anyway, this is Pegasus, and if you can't see the card, I will post it at the end of this video. This is something that this reading came up, something that I had to learn after being in a long-term relationship. And in this deck, the Pegasus is part of the ether suit. And one of the beautiful things they say in the Untamed Elemental is that ether is sort of that space between each note. And when we're struggling in a relationship, especially a close one or an intimate one, sometimes we try to solve the issues by, talking it out, or we might have different exercises that we do, feeling exercises, connecting exercises, the routines that we do. And those can be really helpful. And those are kind of like you go to sort of the classroom with your partner or with the friend. They're sort of like that classroom. But then you got to go out into the world, the kind of the lab where you experience it. And, you might have talked about it the night before, but then, or, at the party that you were at or the first work day of the week. And then by the end of the work week, or by the next time you see them or the next morning, those old habits that weren't working, that were hurting either of you or both of you, or making things difficult, are already back. And so then we have to go back to the classroom and talk about it again, or do whatever the exercise is. And so that struggle can sometimes be tiring, and it also can bring up things within ourselves where it's like, are we really solving this problem? Is it them? Is it me? Is it us? What really needs to change there? And I started to learn, and I hope that this is something that can help you too. I started to learn to listen to those notes in between. And that, there's so many opportunities. Pegasus represents opportunity, right? Especially the opportunities that we sense on that spiritual internal level, the vibrational level, right? The Pegasus flies on vibrations through the world and lives in reality in our minds, in books and in our minds. And I started to listen to those spaces in between, those conversations when a conflict would, for example, with my partner, if we would get into a conflict, I'd go back and I'd be like, oh, this conflict is not really about this conflict. This struggle is not really about this struggle. This has been building up from other little things that don't seem to really have a lot of weight, but it's, it's like that death by a thousand cuts. It's like, all these, there's been tension here, there's a tension point here, and I didn't quite know what it was, so we kind of just kept going. And I started to learn to listen to those spaces in between, when I could feel tension building, or I could feel inside me, something's not quite working here. Or I can tell that he's having an issue with, something that's going on, but it's not really in the words of our conversation. Here's my cat knocking everything over. It's not in the words of our conversation. It's just like the vibrational feeling in these notes in between what is being said. When I started learning to listen to those things and noting it for myself, it wasn't like I had to have, an actual notepad and an actual notepad or, tracking every single thing. It was just me paying attention to the building of tension or building of conflict. And when I started paying attention to those things, I started being able to take a step back and go, oh, this is going to contribute to a conflict later. What can we do to sort of rebalance that? It doesn't need to be talked about necessarily, but what can I do, or how can I stay away or engage or approach in a way so that those things don't turn in, those notes in between that I'm noticing the tension doesn't become a conflict or the big conversation, and it's kind of like this deeper responsibility within the relationship to to make it a more peaceful route. And I know that he does that with me as well. You know, sometimes you lead in something, or sometimes they lead in something, and then the partner or the person that you're in the relationship with, in any whatever configuration that is, will then follow. So that's why I want to share with you today. Listen to those notes in between, those vibrational patterns, because they're all opportunities to change sort of the struggle that's going on. Okay, if you liked this reading, please check out the new moon reading. I do a full spread every month on the new moon, and it serves you for the whole month. You can find that at moongardentemple.com. And I'd love to hear what you think about these readings. Let me know in the comments or wherever you see this video how this is landing for you. Okay, big love.